Hello everyone, welcome to the When at Work podcast. You're the host, Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Jaclyn Strominger from Leap to Your Success. Welcome to the show, Jacqueline.
Well, thank you for having me, Julian. I'm so grateful to be here.
How did I go with the surname, first of all?
Oh, pretty good. It's Strominger.
Strominger, okay, right, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, let's queue up the questions now. If you're not sure, Jacqueline, you've got 3 lifelines. You can poll the audience, do a 50-50 split, or have 30 seconds to Google the answer.
Okay.
First question. Cafe Central is one of many historic coffee houses in what European city known for its coffee house culture? This is extremely difficult for the first question. I'm sorry. Let's take a look at the answers. Prague, Vienna, Paris, or Barcelona?
Oh boy.
Coffee Central. I'm thinking, to give you a clue, it would have to be Paris or Vienna, I think, but I'm not sure.
That's what I was going with. I'm going to just hit and say Vienna.
Okay, Vienna, with no lifelines.
No, I'm just trying to think.
Okay, locking in Vienna. Woo, that was a relief. Well done. That was extremely difficult. Okay. Next question. By definition, which of these vessels is a canoe? A paddleboard, a kayak, a ski boat, or a surfboard? Without locking it in, which one would you pick if you were to guess, Jacqueline?
I'd pick a kayak.
Sounds good to me. Let's lock it in. That's correct. Well done, Jacqueline. All of your lifelines intact, doing very well. In advertisements, what cosmetics brand promotes itself as Easy Breezy Beautiful? Covergirl, Revlon, Dove, or Maybelline? Maybe it's not Maybelline.
Oh my God, my mother just was talking about how she can't even get some of her stuff because it's all locked up behind closets. Easy breezy, beautiful. I'm gonna go with ooh.
Do you want to use a lifeline, Jacqueline?
Yes, I want to use the lifeline.
Okay, now which two, if we do a 50-50 split, which two were you leaning towards?
I was leaning towards between Covergirl and Dove.
Okay.
I can't remember Dove's commercial recently.
What is Revlon saying? I remember they used Cindy Crawford a lot in the 80s. Showing my age.
Yeah, so the answer is I have absolutely no idea.
Okay.
And I am really good at commercials. Like normally I can...
All right, well let's do a 50-50 split and see if we can eliminate Covergirl or Dove, which will help you. Okay, so what we've got left is Covergirl and Revlon. You can either lock in Covergirl or use another lifeline.
I'm gonna lock in Covergirl.
Lock it in. Covergirl, let's take a look. Oh yes, well done. Very difficult questions. You've only used one lifeline. You could go all the way still.
Woohoo!
Cockapoos are hybrid dogs created by breeding Cocker Spaniels and what other dogs? Labradors, Jack Russell Terriers, Poodles, or King Charles Cavaliers? That one's a bit easier.
Yeah, I'm going to say Poodles.
Locking in Poodles. I saw a few Cockapoos this afternoon. Poodles is correct. Well done.
Woohoo!
At the 750 mark, fittingly, the Liberty Bell is featured in the logo of what Major League Baseball team? Philadelphia Phillies. If you watched the last episode, you'll know because I mentioned this. Boston Red Sox, Houston Astros, or LA Angels. So the Liberty Bell is featured in the logo of what Major League Baseball team? Phillies, Boston Red Sox, Houston Astros, LA Angels. You'll need to know where the Liberty Bell is located. Do you know that, Jacqueline?
I do. I'm going to say the Philadelphia Phillies.
Locking in the Phillies. I've had so many Liberty Bell questions is unbelievable. Well done.
Okay, but if you've watched National Treasure, the movie, you've got to know this too.
Ah, really? When did that one come out?
National Treasure with Nicolas Cage. I don't know when it came out. It's a great movie.
Haven't seen that one.
There's two National Treasures. They're both really great.
Is it about a horse?
Great. National Treasure, is it a horse?
Yeah.
It might be. It sounds like a good name for a racehorse.
It does. That's what I'm thinking, like some sort of Kentucky Derby. But I just make things up all the time with this show. Ignore me. Okay, a new spin on the BLT, the increasingly popular Blat sandwich, typically comes with bacon, lettuce, tomato, and what? Anchovies, avocado, almonds, and apple. Excuse my accent, because I probably said a few things weird to you then. The BLT is the one we know, bacon, lettuce, tomato. What is a Blat, B-L-A-T? Does it have anchovies, avocado, almonds, or apple?
I'm going to go with avocado because I hope it doesn't have anchovies.
If it would have anchovies, it would be quite disgusting. Let's lock in avocado. No lifelines. I didn't ask you if you wanted to use the lifeline. We didn't need one. Well done, Jacqueline. Great job, doing very well, storming up the charts. In 2010, the long-running Kathy comic strip ended with Kathy making what revelation? She has 3 months to live. Goodbye. I quit. She's having a baby girl. I swear I've had this question before. Do you remember the Kathy comic strip?
I do remember the Kathy comic strip, but I think I stopped reading it.
Didn't Kathy have a similar long brown hair to you, Jacqueline?
She did. She did have long brown hair,
or maybe black. It was black.
I think I need a lifeline here.
You're a little unsure. Well, we have the Google option or poll the audience.
I'm going to poll the audience.
Poll the audience. Let's take a look. Kathy, what did she end the running strip with? What revelation? Let's get those votes in.
I keep thinking it's like having a baby girl or she's quitting. 3 months, because 3 months to live is not a revelation.
No, that's a bit depressing. Yeah. Have we got any answers coming in? Let's take a look. Okay, we have A, 3 months to live, 9%. B, goodbye, 16%. C, I quit, 11%. And D, she's having a baby girl, 64%. A very strong lead.
Going with the D.
Lock
going
it
with the audience.
She's having a baby girl is correct as Jaclyn storms up to $4,000. Well done.
Woohoo!
Okay, continuing on. One lifeline left. A popular maker of parenting accessories, the Baby Bjorn company is headquartered in what country? Switzerland, Finland, Norway, or Sweden?
Oh.
Baby Bjorn. Do you know anybody else called Bjorn that you can think of? Any singers?
Oh boy.
Maybe kind of a mega group from the 70s and 80s?
Yeah, but I can't think. I'm horrible.
What country is that band from?
I am horrible with what,
I'm going to give you a clue. What do you know the band that I'm talking about?
Oh, okay.
Jaclyn, did you just Google the answer?
I did. You asked if I could Google. You said Google.
Okay, well
so
then we're going to have to.
Is actually it's made in Stockholm. It's in Stockholm, Sweden.
Okay, well we're going to have to take off the the Google Lifeline and lock in Sweden.
I don't know bands very well.
Correct. Well done, Jaclyn.
I'm horrible with bands. Like I know singers, but I could really.
Well, you got there in the end. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
We did have to burn a lifeline, but never mind. We've got about 7 questions to go. Next
Okay.
question. Due to Spanish naming conventions, which of these artists was born with a name that was 20 words long?
Ooh.
Rembrandt. I'm not even going to say that. Pablo Picasso, Jackson Pollock, or Vincent van Gogh, or Gough, depending on how you pronounce that, due to Spanish naming conventions. So we might want to focus on any of those who are Spanish. Do you know who's Spanish out of that group? Rembrandt, Pablo Picasso, Jackson Pollock, and Vincent van Gogh.
I thought it was Pablo Picasso.
Well, you've got no lifelines left, so you're going to have to rely on the gut instinct.
I'm going to go with Pablo Picasso.
Locking in Pablo Picasso is correct. Well done, Jacqueline. This is exciting. No lifelines left, flying by the seat of her pants. Continuing on.
Yep.
A cinephile is a person who is devoted and knowledgeable fan of what? Clouds, vintage toys, movies, First Nations culture. A cinephile, spelt
I'm going to go with movies.
Cine, which sounds a lot like cinema, and that's why
Cinema.
Jacqueline has locked in movies. Let's take a look. Jacqueline's Creek. Well done, Jacqueline. You've made the safe zone. $32,000 in funny money. All right. At this point, I will just point out this is all just for fun, and I will not owe you $1 million because you're getting close. I have actually had somebody ask me, "Where's my check?" Got to put a disclaimer in. You never know these days. All right. Next question. Cartoon character SpongeBob SquarePants has what distinctive physical characteristic? Big hands, buck teeth, big biceps, or long legs? I've watched hours of this thanks to my kids.
Doesn't he have buck teeth?
Well, should we lock it in? No lifelines left.
Yeah.
Locking in buck teeth for SpongeBob, which is correct. Well done, Jaclyn Strominger. Incredible.
I don't watch.
You're on an absolute tear with no lifelines. 4 questions to go. Actually, I think it's 3 questions to go. Let's take a look if Jacqueline can go all the way. A person suffering from leporophobia, spelled Lepori phobia, would fear which of these Looney Tunes characters? The Roadrunner, Daffy Duck, Elma Fudd, or Bugs Bunny. So, leporophobia, do they fear Roadrunners, which is a bird, which wouldn't really make sense. Daffy Duck, which is a duck. I guess some people could have a duck phobia. Elma Fudd is, what would he be? A boomer or a hunter? I don't know. Would you really fear him? Or Bugs Bunny, would you have a fear of rabbits? Leporophobia. What would help here is if we knew the Latin word for rabbit, which is probably... I just gave you the answer. Locking in rabbit!
I was gonna say it's gotta be like Elmer Fudd is a Elmer Fudd, wasn't he the pig?
No, that's...
No.
What's the pig called? I think Elmer Fudd was the guy that would go, I'm hunting rabbits. And he would...
Right.
And the pig was... Is it Porky Pig? Was that?
I thought he looked like a pig.
He
Maybe
did.
that's why.
They were similar, yeah. I think we had Porky Pig and then Elmer Fudd. Anyway,
Right.
we've locked in rabbit because I accidentally gave away a spoiler. But you know, if you can just pick up a freebie like that, it's all good.
Always happy. Thank you very much, Julian. I really appreciate
No
that.
worries. It's just due to my complete lack of professionalism. According to 2009 government statistics, what reality show features the most dangerous real-life profession? Porn stars, kitchen nightmares, the deadliest catch, or dirty jobs? Have you seen any of these shows?
Yes. I want to.
Porn stars is only dangerous due to consumption of donuts.
Yeah. Kitchen nightmares. I mean, it could be dangerous in the sense if you can get hit by a knife. But I want to say the deadliest catch.
Deadliest catch, where they go out catching crab, usually. Locking in C, the deadliest catch. And that is correct. Well done, Jacqueline.
Woo!
All right, we're getting right up there. In a nod to one of Facebook's most iconic features, a couple in 2011 gave their newborn daughter what first name? Like, play, follow, or block? No lifelines left. Who would name their child after a Facebook feature? Like, play, follow, or block?
I'm going to say like.
Locking in like. It could be follow or block. I don't think it would be play. That's more Google. Let's take a look. Like is correct. Well done, Jacqueline. Absolutely incredible. Last question for the $1 million. Conditions apply. Check will be in the mail. Not. 2007, Forrest Whitaker won the Oscar for portraying Idi Amin, the former dictator of what country? I saw this movie. Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Congo, or Uganda. And he wore like an army uniform all the time. It was big news, I think, was it in the 80s? Idi Amin kind of killing lots of people over there in one of those countries. Forrest Whitaker won the Oscar. Do you have any idea, Jacqueline, which African nation this Idi Amin was from?
I honestly can't remember. And
Zimbabwe,
I really feel
Rwanda, Congo. Well, let's start at Zimbabwe. Can you remember who their dictator was for a long time?
I cannot remember Zimbabwe.
Okay.
I can. You know what? I'm just trying to think.
Rwanda, I can't remember any dictators. Congo, Uganda.
I want to say it's either Zimbabwe or Uganda. I don't know, or Congo. I don't. You know, I'm horrible at this. I'm horrible at the. I should know this. Need to go back and look at my history books. I could ask Siri, but I won't. Let's see. I should know this. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go with C. I can't remember.
We're going to lock in
I don't think that's right.
C, which is Congo. Has Jaclyn Strominger gone all the way with no lifelines? Let's take a look.
Nope.
Unfortunately, Uganda was the
I was like,
correct
Congo or Uganda. I was like, I can't remember.
Congo's had its share of dramas, but I just can't remember any dictators. Idi Amin, and that movie is a really good movie if you want to watch that. But well done, Jacqueline. Let's have a round of applause for Jaclyn Strominger.
Woo!
A very good effort. And tell us, Jacqueline,
Yes.
all about Leap to Your Success. Why did you create it? And when did you create it? And what is it?
So, why Leap to Your Success? So, all great questions. So, I started Leap to Your Success, years ago, and it started because each and every one of us has an internal drive, and sometimes we need a little help to move us forward. And even if we're in a business or a career or we are running a company, a lot of times we get stuck. We start going through the motions and we wake up one day and maybe 5 years has passed and we've lost sight of what we're doing. And I would see this happening all the time. And people would just get into professions. And I just said, we need to be able to leap to greater success because we're missing out on life and we're not existing. And the reason it started and why I actually also started it was because I did that myself. I mean, I literally was, I was driving my kids to school and they were going to a private school and it was a crappy rainy day and I'm driving and it was like I was on autopilot. And I just was like, what am I doing? Like, where has my direction gone? I was kind of going through my head. I'm like, I've went to this great university, I did all this great stuff. I've had a great career, but I'm just like, what am I doing? And I was listening to the Katy Perry song Roar, and I just said, I like something has to change. And so I drove my kids, dropped them off, came home, and I'm like, okay, it's like uncle, we need to reboot. And really sat down and started to create and what I wanted, what my mission was, what I wanted to be in life, and redefine it. I mean, we all, I feel like it's one of those things that we always need to be looking at, and we forget about that. It's almost, and a lot of companies do too. A lot of times companies will basically make their mission statement, they write it down, and then all of a sudden they've forgotten about what their mission is. And they're not following their path. So that's where Leap to Your Success came from. It was my personal realization that I wanted more and that I wanted to help other people. And then in helping other people, it was really apparent how many people were similar to me in that regard.
What are some of the things people can do to get unstuck and gain momentum?
So to get unstuck, one of the first and foremost, there's a couple things that I do with people, but really take some time to answer key questions about where you are, what you're doing, what makes you happy, what drives you. Look at your core values. I mean, this doesn't happen overnight. It does take time you have to give yourself time to sit and digest with this. I use something called an Energy Leadership Index assessment, which is an attitudinal assessment that also looks at 7 core levels of energy and where you are on a day-to-day basis and where you act under stress. And we work together to unpack those. But whether you're using an ELI or yourself, to get unstuck, you have to literally take the time to look at where you are now. What are your core values? What do you want? What have you been doing? And where do you want to go?
Awesome. And what are some of the biggest leaps that you've taken?
So in my professional life, I spent my first years, like you say, in magazine publishing. And I woke up one day and I thought, what am I doing here? And I made a huge transition into a new career. And I got into sales and I did a whole other career. But when I was doing that drive where I had that huge realization, one of the things that I also realized was that I needed to make a change for my family. And we were living in Massachusetts. And I said, we really have to change. Something has to give. And so we actually went out to Reno, Nevada, which is nothing like the East Coast, and explored. There was an opportunity to come out here. And within literally 2 months, we were in a new house. My kids were in a new school. I mean, I made a huge leap across the country. And that was probably one of the biggest leaps I've ever done, because it wasn't just me. It was my family too. And it was a restart, reboot, change. But it was one of the best things that we've ever done.
What's it like living in Reno?
Different.
Is it, to me, it's kind of like a casino place. Is it still that way, or is it got a few other things going on there?
Reno, actually, I don't even think of Reno. I mean, yes, we have casinos, and yes, there is. Reno is considered the biggest little city, but what Reno has going for it is Tahoe. We are literally 40 minutes from Lake Tahoe. We are an outdoor adventure place. I mean, if you like the outdoors, you like to ski, you like to hike, you like to bike, you like to be on the water. I mean, there's a lot of great things that Reno does have. It has in July, it's an incredible art scene out here. Obviously, we have Burning Man, which I've actually never been
Is
to.
that out that way?
Yes, Burning Man. People, if you want to go to Burning Man, you gotta come to Reno. Reno's the gateway to Burning Man, unless you're taking a flight. So
I think I'd pass on Burning Man, but maybe a few decades ago I'd go.
Yeah.
Getting back on track, you talk about mission statements. Why are they important, and how should we be using them?
So mission statements, I think, are so important because it really drives a business and it drives your purpose. And a mission statement, for my clients and what I do is I read it every day. It's the thing that starts your meetings. It keeps in your business, it keeps your values and your team focusing on the same passion. It helps you bring in the right key people to be part of your team, because your mission statement also encompasses the values you have as your company and in your person. So it really helps you attract the right tribe. And and I always say the start of, every company has their mission statement. And then if you have multiple teams within the company, each team needs to have their own mission statement as well, because it's going to drive that team to have a more of a cohesive goal and togetherness.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I mean, a lot of companies and individuals create mission statements, but often they just get filed away and never used. And I've worked at a company where it really was just not. What was happening was completely the opposite of what it was supposed to be, as per the mission statement. And what can people expect if they jump over into your world? What's the first step?
Well, and if they want to jump into my world, the first thing I do with everybody is I have an introductory call with people to figure out where they want to go. They can take the 3-minute assessment. But I always say, just let's get on a call to determine, where are you going? What are your dreams? Where have you been? And what's been holding you back? And then let's start to unpack things. I can't begin to tell you how many times I have worked with clients, and what we start out is not necessarily where we end up. It's a journey. And there's a lot of things that happen in the coaching relationship because I'm somebody's partner. I really help people level up. It's not always, sometimes it can be obviously a little bit painful because they're going to unpack some things, but we're always moving people forward. And all of my clients, every single time we meet, there's always action items to keep them moving forward. And we have an overall goal, but sometimes, like I have a client who, where we started working on his company, but we've diverted a little bit to a part of his relationship because all these things kind of intertwine to each other. But we always start with, where are you now? And where does your heart want to be? And let's also look, and I call it your achievement code, which is, what are your top 10 core values?
Yeah, it's good stuff. I always tell people I'm a big fan of having a coach, and you just can't do it all yourself because you're in the midst of everything and the big picture is hard to see a lot of the time. And just having somebody to bounce it off and recalibrate you and maybe even help you pivot if required, it's invaluable. And I'm also a fan of having these consultancy calls with people the initial call. And I know a lot of people feel like, I'm going to get pitched something. But it's the best way to find somebody to work with. And, even if you're not, you're not a good, you're not compatible with somebody, maybe, you and Jacqueline won't hit it off, but maybe you will. So that's why these calls are great. And I go on lots of them. And I've collected people that helped me along the way. So if you are stuck, and who do you work with mostly, Jacqueline?
So I work with professionals, entrepreneurs, business owners, but I also work, the key thing is I work really with professionals that really want to level up. So professionals and, again, entrepreneurs and business owners, but people who really want to achieve more and are high achievers, and they even just want to get to that 1% more. So those are the key people that I work with.
Awesome. So if you're out there and you are a little bit stuck or you just want to break off a little bit more, have a chat to Jaclyn Strominger. I've got her details in the show notes and in the description. Thank you, Jaclyn, for coming on.
Thank you, Julian, for having me. It was such a pleasure, and I love playing the games.
Well done on the game as well. All right, I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for listening or watching, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.